that transition from timer to GG with this song on just made it seem so somber and serious. Sorry about that, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I didn't mean.
GG.
It's on shuffle. Blame the algorithm. It knows what you like. You did this.
You like being sad.
You want to be sad.
No, your taste is too shit.
Well, then let's read something that's not shit, shall we?
The patch notes? I got news for you, buddy.
Well, I was talking about supers here, but we can do that too.
I've lightly perused today's patch, which is to say I saw the whole thing very quickly because it is a short little nothing patch, burger.
We'll talk about it. Fake
All right, Kyle, let's review the reason people should have waited to make negative Final Fantasy XIV videos.
I love that take.
There's been so many lately.
Dude,
I'm like,
it's
Dontro's been out forever. Why are we relitigating this?
I honestly think it's kind of like a New Year's thing. Like, you know, everyone they woke up, New Year's. I took a break. Excellent. I feel refreshed. They go to their computer and they see something that disappointed them back then and they haven't recovered from. So that breakup continues. You know, it's like randomly running into your ex's posts. And for some reason, but the ex didn't post at all, other than, I guess.
That's why you unfollow your ex, or
yeah,
why you mute your ex.
And I don't, maybe they missed Chaotic during Christmas time, or I don't know. Maybe they saw Chaotic during Christmas and like, oh, damn, that ex posting Chaotic raid during Christmas time. I hate them. I hate them so much. But you know what I really hate? Dawn Trail MSQ. And then they made a video about it. I'm a little lost, frankly. I do think there is a lot of burnout, and I think that burnout does rightfully spiral on some individuals who have been through it a lot of times. So if you're coming at this from a perspective of your negative video being like, the patch cycle because they did it last time and they're doing it again, sure, that's warranted. Still kind of in burnout territory. But as for, I mean, did y'all do this in Endwalker? Was there like a big, how long did it take?
This absolutely happened during Endwalker.
Yeah.
We weren't current, but it was sleeping through the cracks. We were on stream multiple times going like, why is everyone shitting on Endwalker right now? And everyone was like, oh, this video came out, or that video came out, or this was the most upvoted topic on Reddit that day. It comes in cycles because if it stands to reason that if you are the type of person that is interacting with a live chat or a Discord or a subreddit, you're vocal. You're a part of the vocal fandom. And it is always very important to remember, and this is just, like, this is boring. I feel like I'm telling you shit you already know, but it is important to remember that not everybody that plays a game, or really, we can blow this up to literally any hobby, any interest. Not everybody that engages in insert hobby here is a vocal participant, but they are still a participant. And so it's easy to, you need to remember that there's probably a lot of people who are having a great time and don't feel the need to talk about what a great time they're having, or vice versa, having a bad time, but just don't feel that. They probably just go and play something else. So it's this whole thing. So yeah, it spilt over during Endwalker. There was definitely at least one major Endwalker's bad actually arc that I remember while Endwalker was the current expansion. And I feel like there was a mini one toward the end where folks were like, you know, Island Sanctuaries just aren't that cool, which I kind of agree with. But it's not enough to like make me go like want to throw all of Endwalker under the bus because of it.
Oh, that's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm reading what everyone has to say too about the Endwalker times.
Yeah, and you and I, we were talking as we were prepping for the stream earlier. I dropped my busy box, which is a pen. We were talking earlier, and I through the talk of our conversation about just the cyclical nature of enjoying video game and then critiquing video game. I said it just comes down to, is it actually a problem or are you just bored? And I think that's how I'm going to start dissecting,
judging,
any sort of grievance about a game I play. You know, if I see a grievance, I'm going to ask myself, do they have a point? Like, is that actually an issue? Or are they just bored and they should probably play something else? That's what I'm going to ask. And you may not agree. That's my opinion, my assessment. But I'm going to try and do that a little more. So I think it'll keep you a saner enjoyer of said hobby.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, and welcome to our Clips and Highlights channel. If you want to keep up with everything Kyle and I have going on, make sure you subscribe to the main Grinding Gear YouTube channel, which is where we actually do these streams. That's right, we stream right here on YouTube. Oh, and sub to the Grinding Gear podcast. Apple, Google, Spotify, really any podcast platform. We're probably there. Thanks.
So we have ourselves some 7.16 notes. I mean, just for history and posterity, I'm gonna look up some 6.6 notes and just kind of see
6.16.
Yeah, just kind of see what we're looking at here, because obviously these are not sizable. They're very weighted in PvP, but if
I'm sorry, all I see is a giant blank area.
Well, hang on here, because as most game designs go, the PvP balance designer does things whenever it's ready. It's a completely different team, and they jump on patches that are shipping in order to work on their product. So unless Final Fantasy works in some really insane, everyone's an expert at everything kind of department-wise business, the size of the PvP is probably not an actual part of the flow of this patch. It just so happened that the PvP was ready to release their content.
Yeah, a lot of folks in chat are saying that .6 patches aren't even that common. And it looks like we did not have a 6.16.
Yeah, I can't find it
in Endwalker.
Okay, so a little bonus. It was confusing trying to find the 6.8 and seeing it jump from like 6.13 or something like that. So, yeah. Let's see here. What we got? We got Crystalline Conflict, but that's kind of also still a relatively young baby that they're fleshing out and working on. It looks like even 6.18 was kind of this PvP heavy frontline Crystalline Conflict thing. The weekly restriction has been removed, though, from the Unsung Blades of Asphodelis and the Pandemonium Savage business getting updated. You can now directly enter any cycle or circle of Pandemonium. So that seems like it's a 7.18 thing that we'll be able to do when that comes out.
Yeah, because you and I were both, I don't think we talked about this on stream, but we were kind of crossing our fingers that the re-clear requirement will get dropped for Arcadian, because that would be really
a little early. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Convenient for us, because you and I don't need anything else off of Black Cat, right?
If I do one more clear, I get the thing anyway. So.
Oh, okay, never mind. I didn't know you needed one more thing.
But then I get a book, and I could turn it in. So today's re-clear, as long as it happens and we microwave it just right, we'll get it. I'll get my one.
Black Cat or Honeybee?
Black Cat.
Oh, okay. Because I need I needed 2 things off Honeybee.
Yeah, I got lucky in the Honeybee business.
Yeah, I didn't win anything on Thursday,
and I'm pretty sure Chess Piece is chilling on old Bomberman. But this particular patch, we got quests. So just because this is my first time, can you all help me out here? New role quests have been added. So role quests come out in chapters with the patches?
It looks like it happens roll by roll.
How does this? Oh, so wait, the culmination as in when you did all of them together and we went and did the special Shadowbringers background quest thing?
Oh, this is the capstone.
Okay. So if you finished all your jobs collectively and did all their role quests, you can now go do, as of today, this capstone quest. Okay. This is completely nebulous. A new orchestration role has been added. Like, why is there no details?
Why wouldn't you say what orchestrating role it was? Maybe it's a new track in the role quest capstone.
I guess, yeah. Did they drop a new beat in the role quest, and so they don't want us to know about this?
There are never yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And how do I get this? I want this. This is important.
What?
A new emote has been added. I don't know what this
Oh.
is though. How do I get it?
I thought you of all people would know what this is.
Well, I mean, I know that you got your hand in front of your face, and that's, you know, that's pretty JoJo. I like parts of this. I prefer a bit more like, and then the other hand, like all of it's not fully JoJoing. I think maybe it might be referencing a particular JoJo, but my favorites are the ones where like they're really like intertwined with themselves, like really snaking those legs around in a half shirt.
All I know about JoJo is that there are poses. I don't know any particular. I know there's like a backwards leaning one that's very popular because it's hard to actually do in real life. That's the only one I'm kind of
the old waist forward kind of road roller business.
Road roller?
Yes, there's a road roller steam. What do we call it in English? You know, the things that make roads.
A steamroller?
A steamroller. Yeah.
I don't think they're steam driven anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we still call them that though, don't we?
I believe so. Yeah, that's still what I refer to them as.
Yeah. So for that you got to hit like, and it's not so different. Like it's an advanced. So Kaiba, you know, you kind of have your Yu-Gi-Oh pose where you're like, and you know, you got your dual disc here, so you're flexing.
Oh shit!
You got that there. And so but you got to go up on your toes. And it's not manageable, you know, but I think the idea is, one, you have the strength of a vampire, so you got that going on, right? But you do.
There's vampires in JoJo?
Oh yeah, that's a huge part of it. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Okay.
But this, like, so this.
All right. So I'm confused, Kyle. I had expectations. Oh wait. Oh, here he goes.
See, but
you got to make your camera bigger, sir.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to, dwarf the reference images here. You know, you
should dwarf it.
These are important to know.
You are now the main attraction
because you got this out, and then you're doing the hand is good, and this part's okay. But like I prefer it when it's a bit more flamboyant. Like you got the hand here, but then you got this. And then you got rose vines like going in the background. You gotta like be really like this one. This is a good one, like one of these. Like yeah. So this is baby step. This is baby's first JoJo mode.
I'm now understanding why I thought your Final Fantasy 12 thumbnails were so weird looking. You were just referencing JoJo and I didn't know it.
It happens sometimes. Okay. So how do I get this? How do I get it? Where do I tell me video game?
I gotta say one of my one of my growing grumbles with Final Fantasy 14 is that the patch notes are really detailed until they're not, and then they just get like horribly.
I mean, what's are they relying on a industry that maybe do we not have it in America? Like, are there Japanese content creators that like really bust out some wicked patch notes coverage and do it for the company? Because that's something we saw a lot in the Blizzard days, is there was kind of this air of like, content creators will explain everything we just did for us.
Yeah, I know they're specifically vague, but why?
I guess in this case, so it sounds like what's happening is that this is vague because it's tied to this.
Okay.
So this
they're vague for spoiler. How is do the roll quest to get the emote a spoiler?
Well, I think we just got to take it in chapters here. Overall playable content. You do this playable content, and you will get chapter header, playable content, housing orchestration, and emote from doing
orchestrion.
This. Yes. And that's the through line of the information.
Okay.
There. So
all right. Yeah. Okay. I guess I get joy of discovery, but at that point, then why even mention that the emote is there? This is like a reflex test. I've been tapped in the knee by a ridiculous emote, and my reaction is, well, why wouldn't you tell me what I have to do to get it?
And then I see the loop that you're going on, because then you're thinking, well, we don't want to know what it is for spoilers. And then they're like, then why'd you show me an image? Well, so you want it, but what do I do? I have to get it. Well, spoilers. And so you end up in this, trapped in this whirlpool.
Yes, I think
of
that's
its
silly.
own design.
I think that's really freaking silly.
So it's almost like if you remove the picture of the emote from these patch notes, it would be better. because then the surprise would be intact. I don't. When you get into spoilers, you're dealing with so many preferences too. So, I guess I'm seduced. The job worked. This did its job. I am seduced into role questing. I want this, particularly if it's static. I think you do it. Hopefully, you get to do it for a long time, and it's not. It doesn't then like snap you back to being a Ken doll, but it's nice and infinite looping, perhaps.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Omega, and I'm glad that Kyle half explaining JoJo to me is the content you subscribed for.
We're just gonna
really
half explain it enough till something catches your interest.
But then people will complain it wasn't in the patch note. This is basically not in the patch notes. I would say this is not in the patch notes.
I think yes. Yeah, I think we're all correct. And whoever's writing these is towing the line between both. And we want them to pick a side.
I find the culture of I consider what some 14 players consider a spoiler to be truly unhinged.
Oh, I mean that gets into unmanageable. Why are you even watching a stream territory, right? But I get it's interesting. I'm constantly exposed to new opinions, such as why did they put a Joker 2 trailer in front of Transformers 1? That's not something I would have cared about 2 years ago, but I can for sure tell you that last year when I took my 5-year-old to the movie theater to watch Transformers 1, I was a little like, well, hang on now. And now I have an opinion about what trailers play in front of what movies.
Yes, I'm sorry for spoiling the patch notes for you. I'm so sorry. I apologize, everybody. I'll try to give more warning.
Now, this next one is apparently a good change, and I don't know why, but there is something going on in the Cloud of Darkness. So now you can, by speaking, in Solution 9, players can exchange the following items obtained in Cloud of Darkness. So there's something about upgrading one thing into another that is quality of life. So maybe you want the demi-materia? Or maybe you Cloud Dark 2?
Chat is already saying it. Multiple people in chat are already disagreeing with you and saying it's a bad change.
Oh, well then I heard the wrong thing. It ain't much, but it's an honest quality of life. Okay, so the rate of the exchange is bad. So it's a quality of life, but technically we don't want this transaction in the first place.
I'm getting it was a bad exchange. This is still a bad exchange, even if it's a slightly better exchange. Is that what I'm picking up here?
Yeah. So people, you can now exchange this for this. Well, why would I want to? It's a bad rate. So at least it exists if that's what you really need to do. Because there was no exchange. Exactly.
Oh, there was no exchange.
Yeah.
Now there is an exchange.
But it's bad.
It's a very punishing exchange.
Well, that's all part of the economy.
It's 5 to 1. So yeah, because you're going from a rank 1 to a rank 2. And so you need 5 rank 1s to get 1 rank 2.
And I'm not deep in the chaotic know-how, but it seems like a lot of people maybe do this 3 times and then are kind of done. It doesn't seem like it's something everyone's grinding out of their mind. So maybe
I haven't done it, and like I always want to, I want to put that out there. Like this is based on osmosis. But holy crap, are my Twitter mutuals like? Does it seem like chaotic is a massive point of contention this patch?
Really? Why is that?
Yeah, well, it's just like Party Finder is at war with itself over how to do chaotic, over the patience level of people even getting through it and staying together long enough for a chance to clear it.
Oh.
And, the people want their stuff from it. And if your only option is Party Finder, it can be a painful experience.
Interesting.
Party Finder is just being Party Finder. It's normal for any content that isn't easy. I see that, but I'm already in the osmosis zone. Call me Osmosis Jones. But
I'm not gonna.
I've had these Twitter mutuals that I'm citing for a while, and I haven't really seen them pop off about Party Finder being a pain in the ass as much as I have for chaotic coming out. So I would have to imagine the player count plays a role in it. It's a lot more people to coordinate. And that's a tough one because like what do you do coming from WoW? I'm terrified to be like, well, over there they would probably give you a slightly easier version and call it LFR. I hated LFR.
Yeah, me too.
I would
So
almost rather
bored.
it not exist in World of Warcraft.
Terribly boring.
I'm not a fan of it. And it doesn't really change people's attitudes. People are still toxic. You just get called names, but you finish as opposed to getting called names and not finishing. That's the only fucking difference between Party Finder and World of Warcraft, or LFR and World of Warcraft, and Party Finder in Final Fantasy 14.
All right, this man does this to me all the time. Can we please clip that out of context? Can someone please take the quote, "Call me names and I'll still finish," and just post it on the internet somewhere?
Do you want to get called names and finish? Do you want
Yeah.
to get called names and disband?
Okay, no, it's I'm reminded a lot of our competitive PvP days, particularly Heroes of the Storm when we did that coverage of well, you're in a 5 stack that doesn't work for me in solo league. And the PvP adds the element and the randomness of the enemy also sucking. But having that fun exist when the content doesn't suck when you suck is an interesting problem. And it seemed like in the interview we read, the developer, Mr. Ozma, super proud of it. Like really, really was proud of this kind of intermediate step between difficulties that they had going on. I think they said it was between extreme and savage was kind of what they were going for. But it doesn't sound like it has that wiggle room of like an alliance raid. And I did alliance raid last week and we died to the final boss twice. We had to try it 3 times, and that's a long fight. So I was in there for an extra 20 minutes because we couldn't clear the dude who puts his clothes on.
Oh wait, hold on. What day of the week was it? Because I went and got my coin on Sunday, and oh my god, it's the slowest DPS I've seen.
It was Tuesday, actually. It was when we finished our stream last week. I went and got my coin.
Wow, you just got unlucky.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, because I went and got my coin on Sunday in Party Finder. Sorry for not doing a random stream, everybody. I didn't have a lot of time. Yeah, it was like the slowest DPS I've seen all Dawn Trail. Like I saw mechanics on the on the council fight that I didn't know existed. Like
now that does kind of track because you would have your hardcores now working on their ults. So you'd assume that overall, like you wouldn't have this influx of new players during this time period. It'd be very much an alt grinding.
how many people even do alts, right? Like, because if you're doing alt jobs, you don't need to run it on your alt job to gear your alt job.
Well, I guess you would be able to need on the drops in there would be your only in like practice. But I mean, if you're doing,
I guess that's a good point.
But if you're doing like savages and stuff, you'd be walking away with books you can gear your ults with and all that. So.
I feel like, I don't know. Have I been gaslit? Because I feel like every time I talk about having a main job, everyone's like, you're weird. I have like a main job in every role. So
that's an interesting question.
Yeah, like I assume, like I know some people have alt scatsu, but I'm wondering how common it is. Because I could probably count on one hand the number of my friends that I know have an alt.
Like you're talking about a full-blown alt, like an actual character, all their own, MSQ complete, different person.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I don't think about 14 as having an issue with competency of players deeper into an alliance raid's life because of alts. Like it causes me pause because of the way the game functions. But chat seems to think you're still onto something. So
and because you want the gear out of there, right? Like if we factor in higher level difficulty things that you're doing with a static or even Party Finder, you may not pursue Alliance Raid as your place to gear your thing. But if you're strictly a roulette kind of person and that's how you're getting your goods, I could see it happening.
I love doing my roulettes. Except for Praetorium. I just ignore it. I don't do it anymore.
I think that's most people.
I never need to run it again. Anyway, to try and put a bow on our discussion here of the whole Party Finder thing of like, I invoked WoW because it's something I think of when I think of pickup groups attempting quote unquote difficult content. World of Warcraft has a version that streamlines the process by giving you an easier version of a raid to do in LFR, and I do not personally find a lot of value with that. It is not something I want in Final Fantasy XIV. I am also the type of player to know how annoyed I'd probably be trying to do something like chaotic in a pickup group environment. So I guess I end on, you will know what you're getting yourself into. So why don't more players show up with like a little more patience? I don't know.
Yeah, I could go off on some psychology of it. Like, I played a lot of Dota. Dota was an hour-long game. I was young. My time wasn't valuable. As I got older, Dota became more frustrating because gambling an hour of my time for super fun carry was not worth my time anymore. So there can be all kinds of issues there. But I really do want to have a party finder experience. And I'm dead serious about it. Like, I wouldn't want you here. It'd be something I do by myself. Sign up. You're off. You're on vacation or something like that. Sign up.
No.
Go
this
in there.
Should 100% be a project for a video where we both play it alone and then we get together and talk about our experience.
Because I love solo queue. I find it fascinating. I love solo queue PvP games because you're always accounting for other people's issues. I think I'd want to be a shield healer just to remove a ton of issues, but that's a whole different conversation. Because then I could at least be the one doing the carrying in like when I apply the stuff, rather than the recovery. I feel like I could carry more as a shield healer. So that's a different conversation.
I have to imagine something that big, like there's only so much you can do.
Yeah. But at least I would have some sort of impact in that way.
Yeah. It's a conversation I've been dancing around a lot lately now that we're doing Savage. Because I really enjoy it and I want to suggest it because I know I've talked to people who are afraid of it. I also know there's a lot more people who are afraid of it and are afraid of it because of Party Finder, and they feel like that's their only recourse. And it might be depending on your whole situation. Maybe you tried finding groups in the past and it just never worked out. Maybe you're just kind of generally not a particularly social person, so you don't want to go find an FC or go find even a semi-static to do it with. Whatever the case is, I'm trying to keep myself in check here because I know we've spent years building a community. And we're very fortunate in how we get to approach this type of content. But I can also tell you, if I was playing Final Fantasy XIV and I wasn't making content about it, I would want to go hunting for at least a semi-static group because I already can tell you that's how I prefer this type of content. I do not like doing it with randos. Find it very frustrating. And so nothing about everyone's kind of response to the frustrations of trying to get through chaotic surprises me.
Well, and in that regard, like the amount of shit you have to do over here, like well outclasses most MMO content. Like how many raids? You were there too, Garrett, when I was running those raids. How many raids did we fail in BFA because people couldn't change targets? We didn't clear bosses because you couldn't press tab. Like that jump.
Oh yeah.
From
100% why I have the attitude that I have towards particularly melee DPS, like because of World of Warcraft.
And then you see what Black Cat's doing in just like in tier 1. It's kind of insane. It is the difficulty increase is absolutely absurd.
I will point out there's no target change.
No, there is no target
Black
change.
Cat.
But I'm just saying, like the barrier to entry already a lot higher with all the saving and the clone business going on.
She's not a bear, she's a cat.
I didn't remember what I said to cause this. Moving on. Good talk.
Good talk. Make friends. It's even harder with chaotic. It's a huge group. Find a good FC.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Okay.
NA has no patience. Do we have the same British friends? My British friends are like at least 75% angrier on average than my equivalent American friend.
He will learn patience.
You must just be hanging out with Canadians. And by the way, they're playing on the NA servers.
So
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this NA slander.
The PvP
my angriest friends are from England.
The PvP changes. Oh yeah, the angry British man is a staple of content creation. It's all good.
Andy is the exception to the rule.
So my only question here, because a lot of these numbers are for PvP, The time between action execution and effect activation has been shortened for the following PvP actions. Why? What is the purpose of this? Because there was a whole readability thing that happened in PvP, the cast happening on the back end of the animation, so someone could see that cool animation and go, oh, I know what that is. That's Shield Smite. I'm going to pop this and that so that I avoid the stun coming in on the other side.
Sorry, I'm getting DM'd by one of my British friends. Broken heart emoji and it says British slander. I'm sorry, Dave.
So they're
my
snappier.
God.
So could this happen in the real game? Or is PvP on its own special server and the responsiveness of the main game could never be adjusted? Is this a conspiracy that the big change in 8.0 is just going to be snappiness increasing on all jobs? And therefore you would seduce in many people who feel like the game plays differently than what they're used to.
I am not seeing anybody knowing the answer to this.
We're all taking guesses. Okay, cool. Yeah, unsure. No, totally. I mean that's a fair thing, Noel. More so, it's a barrier to entry from a lot of friends I hear who play Final Fantasy and then we're like, it's floaty. And when you understand what the boss is doing and how the dance works and kind of this prescripted nature of something like a Savage fight, you go, oh, it doesn't really matter. Because as long as I'm hitting my buttons at the right times and using all the systems to my advantage, it doesn't affect me negatively. Yoshi revealed to me in a dream. Perfect. Moving on.
Cool. Are we gonna talk about Final Fantasy 14 again instead of that other weird game you were just talking about?
Yeah, whatever that was.
Yeah, the completely unrelated game that isn't the game that we're playing.
The system, more commands added,
is down,
and the system is down. Resolved issues, and a new item. Oh, here's the orchestration roll. Maybe it's a new one. Maybe it's down here.
Orchestrion.
It's fine. It's orchestration.
Or think of orchestra.
Yeah.
And then think of a machine that plays an orchestra.
Okay.
Orchestrion.
I understand why the astronomers are mad because that's a real profession. But someone who is spinning an old-timey music box can leave me that comment. I'm going to keep calling it what I am.
But you've called it something different like 3 times.
That's just that's part of the excitement, man. You never know where I'm going to be. You never know where it's going to happen.
You know as good as I do that 9.5 times out of 10, I'm here. I'm here for your mispronunciations. This one.
The music roll. The music
bullets in my ears.
Just like I taught my son this week, and he was like, I can't read that word. I was like, just say you attacked for 20, and everyone's cool with it. And he's like, I attacked for 20. Excellent.
It's like hearing Imagine Dragons every time you try and pronounce orchestrion.
Listen, I'm not going to say Sage ability names, but I am going to reference the one that has potency of 290. And you just need to know the one I'm talking about.